Former board chair of the Ghana Airports Company Limited, Paul Adom-Otchere, released on bail by the special prosecutor after spending a night in their custody. Tonight, we'll speak to his lawyers. Also coming up on Eyewitness News.
And directed the NCA in that letter to suspend the broadcasting license of DSTV effective 7th of August 2025 if they fail to effect a reduction in their bundle prices.
The threat by Ghana's communications, they start to revoke the broadcasting license of DSTV Ghana if they fail to reduce the subscription fee by 30%. Meanwhile, the company has assured its staff not to panic.
The MCG board and the multi-choice group continues to engage with the minister, and any new updates would be communicated to staff.
Also coming up on Eyewitness News, as governments across the globe rise to support Palestinians in the wake of ongoing humanitarian crisis there, Ghana donates 40 metric tons of cocoa product to support their population. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and other stories on Eyewitness News. Also coming up in business,
U.S. imposes new tariffs on African countries.
Eyewitness News is live on affiliates across the country, around the globe. We are on citinewsroom.com. Talking about affiliates, if you're in the western region, I'm sure you can hear us on Premier 100.5 FM, as well as Beach 105.5 FM and Sky 93.5 FM, all in Takrady. In the Bono region, you can hear us on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, hear us on Alpha Radio 104.9 FM, as well as Orange 107.9 FM, all in Kumasi. In the Volta region, Global 105.1 FM in Ho, and Adanu 107.7 FM in Adaklo. In the Northern region, you are hearing us on Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. In the Upper East region, hear us. Upper West region, hear us on West Link 88.1 FM in Lora. In the Upper East region, we are on Source 100.1 FM in Boko and Mike 105.3 FM in Navrongo. In the Northeast region, you can hear us on Scap 101.3 FM. In the Ahafo region, we are live on Hammers Radio 106.5 FM in Goso. You can also join us with your text messages or WhatsApp messages on the number 0549 986 996. 0549 986 996. Inu has our first story.
Former board chairman of the Ghana Airports Company Limited, Paul Adom-Otchere, has been released from custody. He was released from the OSP's office in the company of former Attorney General Godfrey Dame and his lawyers. This comes after the Office of the Special Prosecutor approved revised bail conditions for Paul Adom-Otchere, the former board chairman of the Ghana Airports Company Limited, following negotiations with his legal counsel. However, Paul Adom-Otchere has reportedly been recalled by the Office of the Special Prosecutor to complete some administrative procedures. In a statement released today, the OSP confirmed that the revised terms meet the objectives of the original bail conditions and have been secured by the Jospon Group of companies acting as surety.
Let's go to the forums and speak to Nicholas Adom-Otchere, his lawyer for Paul Adom-Otchere. Nicholas, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. First of all, confirm to us, has Paul been released from the custody of the special prosecutor?
Good evening, Sammy, and a very good evening to your listeners. So, I can't confirm that Paul has been released to the custody of his lawyers, and his lawyers is made up of a team. I'm just a member of that team, for your record.
Okay, thank you for that correction. And then again, let me ask you, tell us what went on when you guys reported at the office of the special prosecutor, the interrogation, the caution, and the detention and the likes.
So, again, because the matter is under investigation, I'm unable to go into the specifics of the questioning and its line. But as you will recall, the special prosecutor had invited Mr. Adom-Otchere in connection with his role as board chairman of the Ghana Airport Company Limited and some transactions relating to Evertex. And so when we went yesterday, the questioning was done, necessary forms were taken, and then we engaged the OSP on bail because they had indicated that they were cautioning him since they were doing an investigation. And the bail conditions came. We felt the bail conditions were unreasonable. We prayed for a variation. The OSP did not yield, and so they detained Mr. Adom-Otchere, took him from the OSP's office, and we did not know his whereabouts until much later in the night. Today, we went back to the OSP to engage him, and then thankfully, the OSP has changed its position and yielded to our submission that the conditions as set yesterday were unreasonable. We've been able to meet the bail conditions set by the OSP today, and so Mr. Adom-Otchere has been released on bail.
Take us through the bail process, because earlier we were told that the OSP needed landed properties in the name of Paul Adom-Otchere. Later on, it was varied. How come it was varied? Did the OSP give any reason why this whole bail term was varied?
So since the bail condition was made, we've always maintained that the linkage of the bail condition to personal property ownership by Mr. Adom-Otchere made the bail condition unreasonable and unfair. And that even though the OSP had the power to impose those bail conditions, they were also required by the Constitution to be candid and fair and not to be actuated by any personal dislike or resentment. And so today we went back to the OSP to engage him on the same position, that the conditions are unreasonable since Mr. Adom-Otchere had indicated he did not own landed property in the country. For the OSP to insist he must produce 2 landed properties in his name was concluding that at all costs they were going to detain him. And so the OSP yielded to the submissions that council made, and then in recognition of that, varied the bail conditions to now require that there should be one third-party surety who should provide any landed property without any specific value. And based on that, we again requested if that guarantee can be a corporate guarantee, which they yielded. And because Mr. Adom-Otchere works for Nutri TV, the Johnston group of companies came to stand in as the surety and provided the landed property. But this goes to affirm our position since yesterday that if the OSP could secure the attendance of Mr. Paul Adom-Otchere by a third-party surety today, why didn't he do this yesterday? And that is why we insist the conditions that were set yesterday were unreasonable and unfair in the circumstance.
Has Paul been officially charged by the OSP, or he's still under investigation? Your client, I mean.
As I speak to you, he has not been officially charged by the OSP. He has been cautioned and informed that the OSP is investigating suspected offences. So as we speak, Mr. Adom-Otchere has not been charged with any specific offence known to our criminal laws.
So if he's under investigation, it means he may go back to the OSP for further interrogation, right?
And when the OSP needs him, he would appear to talk to them, as we've always maintained.
How is your client taking all this? Personally, professionally?
For those of you who know Mr. Adom-Otchere and in your line of business as journalists, you know these are occupational hazards sometimes. And so Mr. Adom-Otchere, as usual, is very full of life, still full of his conviction. And in the coming week, I'm sure you'll hear from him himself regarding these matters and the issues under scrutiny.
Before his appearance before the OSP, Paul himself had mentioned that this is a witch hunt. In your interrogation or interaction with the OSP and what he went through yesterday and today, you believe is the witch hunt, as he mentioned earlier, before his official appearance before the OSP?
I think it is public knowledge that Paul has been one of the fierce critics of the OSP. And that is why we found it problematic that, especially when it came to him, the OSP decided to impose conditions that did not meet the reasonability test in the circumstance. As to whether it is a witch hunt or not, we leave that for the public to judge. But as lawyers, we are convinced that the discretion that was exercised by the OSP was one that did not meet the constitutional test of reasonableness, given that Paul had indicated he did not own any landed properties.
Would it be right if anyone will say that, has your client been cleared for now? Would it be right?
I would say he's still under investigation. He's yet to be charged with any offense, and we look to the future to see what happens. But we are ready again for anything that may come.
Counsel, thank you very much for your time. Nicholas Adom-Otchere is one of the lawyers for Paul Adom-Otchere. He's the former board chair of the Ghana Airport Company Limited. The news is that the special prosecutor has released him on bail. It follows his detention last night when he was invited or directed by the special prosecutor to appear before him in respect of some investigations the OSP is carrying out following his alleged involvement in some contract that was signed by the Ghana Airport Company Limited. Remember, Paul Adom-Otchere was the board chair of the Ghana Airport Company Limited. And in respect of that same issue, the managing director of the Ghana Airport Company Limited has just written a letter to the company in question, terminating the said contract that has landed Paul Adom-Otchere in the custody of the special prosecutor. And I read, it says, reference is addressed to the Chief Executive Officer, Avitex Logistics Limited, TEMA. Attention, Mr. Evans Edusei. And it says, dear sir, notice of termination, revenue assurance audit agreement. And it says, reference is made to the revenue assurance audit agreement executed between the Ghana Airport Company Limited and Evertex Logistics Limited on the 4th of December 2024. Management will wish to bring to your notice its intention to terminate the agreement without cause pursuant to the termination clause A of the agreement, which states as follows: a party may terminate this agreement before it expires without cause by providing the other party a 1-month written notice of its decision to terminate. Hence, effective 27th of August 2025, the agreement executed on the 4th of December 2024 shall cease to have effect and shall be considered as terminated by the Ghana Airport Company Limited. You are therefore required to use this notice period to demobilize and leave the premises of the Ghana Airport Company Limited on or before the 27th of August 2025. We thank you for your intention to carry out the revenue assurance audit and wish you well in future endeavors. Yours faithfully, Yvonne Nana Efie Opare, Mrs. Managing Director of the Ghana Airport Company Limited, and is copied to the Group Executive Commercial Services Ghana Airport Company Limited, Group Executive Finance Ghana Airport Company Limited, and the Director Legal Services Ghana Airport Company Limited. This is Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafi, and tonight I'm here with Eno Safo.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Still unbeatable. Republic Bank has slashed the city mortgage interest rate to a new low. That means it's more affordable to own your dream home. You enjoy lower monthly installments, save on interest payments, flexible loan arrangements, and more. Make the move. Own your home at a low teen interest rate. But hurry, this offer lasts for a limited time. Visit any Republic Bank branch or send email to myhome@republicghana.com or call Accra 054-0109-649. Kumasi 054-0109-901 to apply today and enjoy a teen interest rate. Republic Bank, with the one for you.
When I get home and want something quick to chop, everything there inside, groundnuts, milk and sugar. I only need some water. So kiss me easy, keep what I remake. Boarding house, everything there inside, groundnuts, milk and sugar. I only
Kivo 4-in-1 Gary Mix. Soakings are easy. This advert is FDA approved.
Life doesn't always go as planned. Maybe you dreamed of earning a degree, but something got in the way. Losing a parent, financial struggles, or life just happening. But what if I told you it's not too late? At Cracks Training Institute, we believe in second chances. With the ABE Level 6 program, your dreams are back within reach. If you hold an HND or a 2-year diploma and have valuable work experience, this is your opportunity. The ABE Level 6 is recognized by Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, and equivalent to a bachelor's degree. But that's not all. It also qualifies you to enroll in any university in Ghana for a master's degree. And here's the good news. Admissions start this August. This is your moment. Don't let it pass you by. Take the first step towards rewriting your story. Call us today at Cracks Training Institute on 0552-222217, 0552-222217, or visit cracks.edu.gh.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You're welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. Let's read some of your text messages. Prince Henry Nkofodia says, I'm happy Paul Adom-Otchere has been released, but that is not to stop the interrogation and prosecution. if found guilty. Ghana can't be reset when we continue to do same things over and over again. I support President John Dramani Mahama to reset Ghana and make sure everything in this country works. Ghana is all we have. The brides in Nutri in the United Kingdom, it says the current law does not allow ministers to hold dual citizenship, and yet unable to catch Ofoyata. Now that politicians are pushing to have dual citizenship, the Ghanaians are blindly supporting them. They will soon finish all the money in this country and run away. As for Paul Adom-Otchere, after all this, I'm going to specially prosecute or petition about the Christmas tree. Daniel in Sandama says Paul Adom-Otchere's arrest over the shady Ghana Airport Company contract is a step in the right direction. Let no one hide behind the tried excuse of political witch hunt to escape accountability. In fact, what the politicians are doing is not the best. Alex Kofi from Adenta Commando says, I believe the OSP, having thought law for the past years, know the law and hasn't been fair to Paul Adom-Otchere. We the people from Oyarifa says, congratulations to the government for extending a helping hand to the people of Palestine. The world cannot turn a deaf ear to the suffering of the people. It's a story we'll come to shortly. Eno has some other stories.
Minister of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation Samuel Nate George has directed the National Communications Authority to suspend the broadcasting license of multi-choice-owned DSTV if it fails to reduce subscription prices by August 7, 2025. This follows public concerns over DSTV's refusal to adjust its charges to reflect the appreciation of the city. Speaking during his turn at the Government Accountability Series, Samuel Nate George said the ministry will not relent in its efforts to ensure fair pricing for Ghanaians.
I believe that the Ghanaian people have been fleeced and exploited for too long. I wrote back to the NCA on Monday and directed the NCA in that letter to suspend the broadcasting license of DSTV effective 7th of August 2025. if they fail to effect a reduction in their bundle prices. I cannot, as minister, serving the Ghanaian people, continue to watch what can best be described as plain stealing happening to the Ghanaian people. In my letter to them, I gave them scenarios from 7 markets that DSTV is operating in. The same content in the premium bouquet that is offered to Ghanaians for $83 equivalent is offered to Nigerians for $29 equivalent. How can anyone explain this price disparity to me? Enough of the mistreatment of the Ghanaian consumer. They either comply with the reduction, because in Nigeria, in the same time frame that they say the Ghanaian cedi has depreciated by 240%, the Nigerian naira has depreciated 409%. If Nigerians are paying equivalent of $29, DSTV must charge same here in Ghana, or we will suspend their broadcasting license effective 7th of August 2025.
The minister also noted that complaints about fast depleting mobile data, which were referred to the ministry's investigative team, revealed that factors such as device settings and streaming habits were largely responsible for the high data usage. He stressed that while the ministry remains committed to protecting consumer interest, regulatory action will only be taken when supported by clear evidence.
My fidelity and that of the ministry and the government of President Mahama is to the Ghanaian people. Our interest is the best interest of the Ghanaian people. However, these are technical issues that we would only be able to act on the basis of evidence and not sentiments. I have seen a number of complaints on social media, and I've set up a specialized task force at the NCA and at all the mobile network operators to deal with these complaints. Let me state on the record, every single one of the complaints that have been referred to the team have been investigated, and all of them have proven that it is user settings and user behaviors that have affected the use of their data, and that there has been no price tampering. Let me reiterate, I will not hesitate to deal decisively as minister with any company that falters or alters the pricing that is approved by the NCA. But unless there is evidence of same, you cannot punish somebody just because people are making a claim that is not backed by the evidence.
Samuel Nati George is Minister of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation.
Let's go to the phone lines and speak to Charles Reid, who is a member of Parliament for Brim and a member of the Communications and Information Committee of Parliament. Charles, good evening. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, good evening, Sammy.
I'm sure you've seen and heard this directive from the Communications Minister to DSTV Ghana. Many people will say that it's good news for subscribers here in Ghana. From your side, what's your reaction to this directive?
Grateful for the opportunity, Sammy. Yes, I mean, I've watched the video of the minister. And then let me say right from the outset that I support the call of the minister for DSTV to reduce the cost of their packages. Yeah, because when you do the analysis, like the minister rightly said, we seem to be paying more as compared to the other countries that enjoy almost the same services. You know, because if Nigeria is paying about $29 for the premium service, and then Ghana is paying over $83 for the same premium service, and then I think that it is too much. I have lived in South Africa. I used to be the High Commissioner there. And then I can tell you that in South Africa, we used to pay less, far less than what we are paying in Ghana. So I support the call. However, I think that the approach shouldn't be a threat to cancel their or to suspend their license. I think that shouldn't be the way to go. My view is that when these issues happen, there ought to be some discussions. I agree that the minister did meet them earlier. Subsequently, Multi-Choice told the minister that they will go back and then review whatever discussions they've had and then get back to the minister. When they got back in a form of written response to the minister, indicating that because of the cost of doing business, the cost of running the operations, the depreciation of the Citi.
Hello, Charles. I'm afraid Charles Owedu's phone lines not the best of friends at the moment. We'll try and raise him again on the telephone line and speak to him on the DSTV issue, because the Minister of Communications at a news conference today says that government may be forced to revoke the broadcasting license of Multi-Choice Ghana, owners of DSTV, if it fails to reduce the prices for their packages by the 7th of August 2025, because he says that he has had engagement with the managers or the operators of DSTV here in Ghana, and the agreement was them to reduce their prices, but unfortunately the managers say they are unable to do so. And so he says that by the 7th of August, if that is not done, he will ask the National Communications Authority to revoke the license of DSTV Ghana or Multi-Choice Ghana, who operate DSTV here in Ghana. Charles is back on the phone. Let's speak to him. Charles, you were making a point before the line dropped.
Yes, I was saying that I support the call for the reduction, but I disagree with the minister on the approach. You know, because if you say that you're going to suspend the license of DSTV, at the end of the day, you know, both of us are going to suffer. If I say both of us, we the subscribers, and then that of the DSTV, the company. This shouldn't be the way I would have approached this. In my humble view, the minister should still engage. I know that based on the response of the minister, he did engage earlier, and then the people that DSTV promised, or Multi-Choice promised, to get back to him to review the cost, and then subsequently they wrote a letter to him indicating that because of the depreciation of the Citi, and then the fact that other logistics that they use in producing the channel has gone up. Because of that, they are unable to reduce the cost. I think that there ought to be a further room for negotiation. Let me, you remember when Ghana, when MTN had an issue, I think the GRA had an issue with MTN, that they were underpaying their taxes. It was a big issue in South Africa. I was the High Commissioner then. It was a big issue. I remember being summoned by the South African Foreign Minister on this matter. But at the end of the day, we use diplomatic channels to resolve the issue, because our two countries do enjoy a very strong tie, strong bond, of friendship. Ghana is South Africa's largest trading partner. We do business with South Africa. There's a lot of Ghanaians who visit South Africa. Likewise, South Africans visiting Ghana. This company, MultiChoice, has employed a lot of Ghanaians, that are working for MultiChoice. So the approach shouldn't be a threat. The approach should still be, a room, for further negotiation. Make a very strong argument, make a solid point to them, and then having put across, all the other markets that DSTV operates in, making that, forceful argument. I'm sure, because they're a business concern. They want to make profit. Whilst making profit, they also want to have a harmonious relationship with the policy maker, being the government of Ghana, in this case, the minister or the ministry. They would abide by. So if the issue, the minister's press conference, he said that he asked them to reduce it by 30%. So if they do have the genuine case, saying that, okay, probably 30% is too much for us, but we can do this figure, and it has to be a negotiation. I don't want this issue of, threats and then banning. It doesn't augur well for that relationship that we seek to have with them.
Agreed. But then the question is, the minister has had series of negotiations or engagement with them, to the extent that they asked them to reduce by 30. They wrote a letter back to the minister, making arguments about the cedi depreciation and the rest. So a lot of people believe that a threat like this may compel DSTV to do what government or the minister is asking that they do.
I cited the example of MTN. I told you earlier that when GRA, had this issue, you remember GRA had, and then the Ministry of Finance had this issue with MTN. The matter was escalated to another level, so it was handled behind, closed doors. So this matter can also be handled in the same way. The ministers at the level of the minister can speak to his colleague minister in South Africa, together, because this is a South African company. I know that now Canal of France is making some plans, to buy this company. But as we speak today, it's still a South African company.
They bought the information we have is that they bought it about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but then the South African government is yet to sort of give them the go ahead, for them to take over. You have to go through some, I think, some bureaucratic system in South Africa, before finally they take over. That's what I've heard. So as we speak now today, it's still a South African company. So that matter, I'm saying that it has to be escalated. If he's having issues with these people, I'm sure that by picking the phone, speaking to his colleague, even if the French company has taken over, we have the French government being represented here by their embassy. The South Africans, if it's still in the domain of the South African government, the South Africans are being represented by their High Commission. Raise the matter. Like I told you, MTN raised the matter they told their parents in South Africa. And I was summoned as the ambassador to go and meet the foreign minister. When we met, we had some discussions. Later, I reported back to the foreign minister. And at the end of the day, now we've had a very harmonious relationship. But MTN is doing business in Ghana. So we don't want to see businesses go.
Okay.
We want to encourage more businesses to come. But that doesn't also mean that businesses should take us for a ride. That's why I'm saying that I support the call for a reduction. That's why I support, because the minister should also act like he's saying, he's acting in the interest of Ghana. I support that call totally. But then I think that there ought to be a different approach in getting this thing done.
Okay.
It shouldn't be that, okay, they've written a letter to me, and that because of that, you're giving them up to the 7th of this month. If not, then I'm canceling. No. And then they will suffer. You're not going to suffer. The subscribers are going to suffer. I will not get the opportunity to watch my Liverpool play, and then other entertainment, and then sports channels on TV. And then the company is also going to suffer. And that's not what we need to do as a government. I don't think that that's the interest of government, to see companies fold up because there's this misunderstanding between the companies and government. We need to sit down. There's always a room for negotiation.
Okay.
If the minister has said 30% and then they are saying 30% is too much, how much are they prepared to offer?
Okay, Charles.
That's what I think ought to be done.
All right, Charles, thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Charles Rhodes is Member of Parliament for Ibrahim and a member of the Communications and Information Committee of Parliament. Let's still stay on the line and speak to Apia Kusi Adomako. He is the West African Regional Director for CAT International. Mr. Adomako, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. I read an article you wrote some few weeks ago when the issue came up first, and you say that the best way to deal with this monopoly is to bring in a competition law. Now, the minister says that by 7th of August, if the reduction is not done, the broadcasting license of DSTV Ghana may be revoked. You surprised when you heard this?
Yes. Good evening, Sami, and your listeners of Citi 97.3. I think that I was not surprised when I heard what the minister said, looking at the background of the conversation that between MultiChoice and the ministry. And as I said in my write-up, one would have expected that the MultiChoice would have reduced its prices when the Citi started to appreciate. But because MultiChoice is not facing any competition in the pay TV market in Ghana here, they don't have any incentive to reduce their prices. And so if as a country, if we want to prevent such a dominant and a monopoly, I think that we need to come up with a competition law. And by competition law, I'm sure that we'll be able to address most of these issues. Of course, we have this draft bill hanging over the Ministry of Trade for the past 18 years, and we don't have it. It's never gone to Parliament, and we hope that once Ghana is able to put it before Parliament, we can get some of these things resolved.
But then again, the argument is also that if the government wants more investors and at the same time threaten another investor because of its inability to reduce prices because of various reasons that they give. For instance, the minister said in their letter, they said because the Citi depreciation is artificial, it may affect their operations if they may want to go with the depreciation of the Citi. Should we allow foreign companies to be dictating to us how the economy is run and how they should also run their business in a country where they only operate based on the current status?
I would say that the MultiChoice response was not in a good faith. The minister has raised the legitimate issues, asking you to consider reducing your prices so that consumers could benefit. However, the operator decided to go around and say that they are not sure whether the Citi is the appreciation of Citi is sustainable. Of course, it is not only MultiChoice that has there are other companies operating in the country that have reduced their prices because the Citi has appreciated. Whenever the Citi depreciates, they will go back and increase their prices. So I think that MultiChoice could have just comply and say, look, okay, we are going to comply. And whenever the Citi also depreciates, nobody can prevent you from increasing your prices. Of course, no government ministry or politician has ever said that MultiChoice should not increase its prices whenever it has to do, because we are in a free market. But for me, as I said, the minister has got a good intention to make sure that consumers in this country get a better for money for value for things that we pay for our pay TV. However, the tools that the minister is using in trying to achieve that is what, for me, is a bit concerning. That this is a market, that is a free market. That's number one. And number two, today the minister was also there talking about getting firms to come into the country, like in the coding and the business outsourcing sector. On one breath, you are urging investors to come, and then in other breath, you are saying that if a business doesn't reduce its prices, you are going to revoke its license. I think that we are not sending good signal to potential investors in the country. And even if MultiChoice was listed in the Ghana Stock Exchange today, today's trading, it would have suffered a loss because of what the minister said. Those statements are very, very powerful statements that we should desist from saying it openly. I'm sure that the public are waiting to see an action from the minister. But I think that the best approach is not this regulatory overhaul, but rather using a more market-based approach. I mean, if MultiChoice is not willing to reduce its prices, there are other companies that government can open the entry barriers to bring them in, and once they come and compete, economists will say that prices will be at the marginal cost, and that is what we need to do. Of course, Ghanaians are stuck to MultiChoice because of the premium content that it has, the UPL and the Champions League. And that issue also needs to be resolved at the continental level, because we shouldn't allow one monopoly to have access to this premium content and take the whole continent by ransom. If you go to the US, for example, there are a lot of cable companies, but yet none of them has a monopoly to the sports content. They allow other TV stations, pay TV stations, to be able to also buy and transmit on their network. And that is what we are not having here in Ghana and here in Africa. And I think that the minister can also use the EU and bring all communication ministers across the continent together, and through the AFCFTA, they will be able to resolve this issue using competition and allowing other pay TV companies to be able to also compete and buy, distribute this premium content. If we are able to do that, I'm not sure that MultiChoice could be a monopoly in this space where we find ourselves. So let's use more of the market approach than the threat of wanting to revoke licenses or suspend licenses.
Thank you very much for your time. Apia Akusi Adom-Otchere, he's the West African Regional Director of CAT International. So listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. News just coming in. There's a statement from Nutri Foods. They produce Tasty Tom and the rest. They've just issued a press statement recalling some of their products. And it says, our attention has been drawn by the FDA and national security to some incidents of bloating in Tasty Tom enriched tomato cans, the 210 gram and the 400 gram. We have therefore been directed by the regulator to issue this recall whilst we investigate the root cause of the problems. The following products have therefore been recalled with immediate effect. And it gives the breakdown of the products that have been recalled. It further says that do not consume the product. Anyone who has a Tasty Tom 380 GMS and 1.5 kg from one of these batches can drop it off at the Tema office of the company. It is important to know that the FDA has been inspecting our facility to ensure compliance with the regulation. In January 2025, the FDA suspended that the manufacturing lines for the 210G and 400G Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix and production has since ceased. Currently, the company's manufacturing activity has been suspended until further notice to ensure full compliance with all regulatory recommendations. Please be assured that we are working closely with the FDA to ensure that this recall process goes as smoothly as possible. He said, we deeply regret any inconvenience caused by to our consumers and trade partners because this issue and recall. We at Nutri Foods Ghana Limited are committed to delivering high quality products, meeting all the required national food safety standards, and ensure our consumers are delighted with our product. And it's signed by the business head of the company, J and J Rio. And it's a statement coming from Nutri Foods recalling some of their tomato mix, really a tasty tomato mix. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we have more stories.
There as it happens.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Charlie, where are you?
Bossman, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Walwale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more. EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Ugomi, and what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, so this is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it will protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what it does my mind self be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, they make a finish my go be fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you hand my go be inside? I give you info. Make a feel the go be too small. Go. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Yeah, welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. Eno has some more stories.
The government of Ghana has donated 40 metric tons of locally produced cocoa products to the people of Palestine in a show of solidarity amid the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Gaza. President John Dramani Mahama, who announced the gesture on August 1, said the donation underscores Ghana's commitment to shared humanity and its long-standing partnership with the Palestinian people. The images and stories emerging from Gaza, particularly the suffering of innocent civilians, are heartbreaking. In this regard, the government of Ghana is pleased to extend a humanitarian donation of about 40 metric tons of premier Ghana-made chocolate and cocoa-based products under the distinguished Golden Tree brand to the people of the state of Palestine. The president described the cocoa products as a symbol of Ghana's rich natural resources and a source of essential nutrition, particularly for malnourished mothers and children affected by the crisis.
Let's go to the phone lines and speak to Ras Mubarak. He's a former member of parliament for the Kumbungu constituency and an advocate for the state of Palestine. Ras, good evening. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, sir.
A kind gesture, you believe?
Well, absolutely. If you look at the crisis in Gaza, one can't help but, do whatever they can to ameliorate, the suffering of Gazans. It's most unfortunate. We are watching, we've watched a genocide unfold, we're watching a famine unfold. Kids are being shot as they stay in queues just to get, food. And this is actually a gesture that would go a long way to alleviating the plight of the people of Palestine. Except that, because of Israel's, blockade, because of, I'm sure listeners and viewers have seen how they have actually stopped humanitarian aid from getting into Gaza. So the concern is whether or not this would actually get to the people. If it did get to the people, obviously that would go a long way to boosting the immunity of the people of Gaza, especially the kids who are malnourished, who are starving, and we all know the nutritional, benefits of cocoa. Historically, Ghana has always been for a two-state solution. Unfortunately, we really got interested in a two-state solution, and we have seen the kinds of things we're seeing in Gaza simply because they have been enabled, they have been emboldened, by the United States of America and, Western Europe. No country, Sammy, should sit aloof and watch these things happen. And as far as I'm concerned, these are personal views, and I hold these views very, very strongly. The only way to break the back of the apartheid and the egregious violation of the rights of Palestinians is for all nations to ask Israeli ambassadors to leave their countries. Until we start boycotting, until we start, putting a lot of pressure and sanctions, this rogue behavior by Israel would continue. They are completely out of order. This is beyond, what anybody could even imagine. That 5, we've witnessed a genocide right before our eyes, and the Israeli Prime Minister is getting handcuffed in jail. That shows the hypocrisy, the crass hypocrisy of the world. And I'm sure many viewers would remember how, apartheid in South Africa was destroyed, how it was dismantled. It was through boycott and sanctions. So until this rogue behavior is punished, until what the Israelis are doing to the Palestinians are treated, in a manner that all, progressive nations are supposed to treat such bad behavior, they would continue to be emboldened.
Right. There are others. There are, even though you admit that this gesture from government is welcome, there are others who have said that the crisis currently in Gaza may require more. Just chocolates and cocoa products may not be enough. You think government could have done more?
Well, people who say this do not appreciate, the value, the nutritional benefits, which I alluded to a while ago, of cocoa. But also don't forget that, we are also facing, economic challenges of our own. And as a very progressive nation, a nation that cares about, world peace, that cares about providing, support to people who need it the most, this should be a welcoming gesture. What people should be worried about is whether or not, the rogue Israeli administration would allow for these much badly needed goods to get in. And I think all of us would have to take a strong stance and begin to boycott Israel. It's the only way to stop this apartheid. Because clearly, we had Trump threaten the Canadians, that if they were to, recognize Palestine, then clearly business with America would suffer. This kind of hawkish attitude towards peace should not be entertained. There are so many countries around the world, and I believe we were all singing from the same hymn book. We're all uniting on a common issue, which is that what is happening in Palestine is completely unacceptable. No matter what the Americans do, the world will prevail. Because currently, the only country that poses existential threats to world peace is Israel, not the Palestinians. And they need to be brought to book.
Okay, Ras, thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Ras Mubarak is a former member of parliament for the Kumbungu constituency and advocate for the state of Palestine. This is Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra.
As it happens. Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Inusaf. Let's settle for the details. U.S. President Donald Trump has imposed a 15% tariff on imports from several African countries, including Ghana, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Uganda. According to a statement issued by the White House on Thursday, July 31, 2025, the tariffs are part of a broader shift towards trade restrictive policies under President Trump's administration. The move signals a more aggressive trade posture, with South Africa and Libya facing even steeper duties of 30%, while Tunisia will see a 25% tariff on selected exports to the U.S. The new tariffs are not limited to Africa. Other major economies have also been affected. India faces a 25% tariff, Japan 15%, and the United Kingdom 10%. Analysts say the measures could have significant implications for global commerce, particularly for emerging markets heavily reliant on exports to the U.S. Now, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Asiama, says the central bank is actively engaging stakeholders across the remittance space to tackle data and compliance shortfalls. According to Dr. Asiama, these interventions are expected to boost remittance inflows and reduce pressure on the foreign exchange market. His remarks come amid growing concerns from the business community over persistent challenges in accessing foreign currency through formal channels, a situation that has increasingly pushed businesses toward the more costly parallel market.
We do not expect what you call a shortage of dollars at the banks. There has been instances like that. We moved in to investigate, only to find that some of those importers did not have, the appropriate documentation, and that was what was delaying it. But that said, we are working on it. Banks finance trade using their Nostro accounts. It is out of that they pay for imports. Now, what we have seen is that certain inflows appear to have reduced, especially remittances. Remittance inflows appear to have reduced since April. We are investigating that thoroughly. We want to monitor these flows to make sure that they accrue to the system. We are going to be very active on that front. We are following up with certain data requirements from all those players in the remittance space. Once we do that, the inflows will begin to come in, and whatever pressures you might be seeing locally should be contained.
Dr. Johnson Asiama is the governor of the Bank of Ghana. Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation, Sam George, has announced that formal discussions have resumed with PayPal to secure full access to the digital payment platform for users in Ghana.
The ministry has formally reopened engagements with PayPal to restore full access to its service for Ghanaian users. As of June 2025, PayPal's regional government relations team has issued Ghana a compliance roadmap outlining the technical, regulatory and financial standards required for whitelist reinstatement. The ministry is working closely with the Bank of Ghana and other key stakeholders to fulfill these conditions and to ensure PayPal also meets the necessary requirements to operate in Ghana. This effort is a strategic priority to expand access to global digital payment platforms for freelancers, SMEs, startups and the creative sector. Securing PayPal access will remove a long-standing barrier to participation in the global digital economy and expand financial inclusion and cross-border trade opportunities for millions of Ghanaians. We're working closely with the governor of the Bank of Ghana to ensure that PayPal is given access to our economy and our digital space. However, we'll insist that PayPal will comply with the regulations of the Bank of Ghana.
You heard the Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation, Sam George. The Chief Executive Officer of the National Youth Authority, Osman Ayariga, has called for greater investment in cybersecurity capabilities to protect Ghana's digital economy from evolving threats. Speaking on the sidelines of the 2025 Ethical Hacking and Offensive Cybersecurity Conference, he underscored the strategic importance of developing local cybersecurity talent as a core pillar of national resilience.
Ever since there's the emergence of internet and there's been the emergence of the cyberspace, its security has been very utmost interest of government. And that's why you have all these Data Protection Act, you have cybersecurity officers that are in charge of all these spaces. Because once there's an evolution of technology, obviously it will also come with some elements who would want to use it to perpetrate crime. So government has been very, very particular about protecting our cyberspace and our cybersecurity. So realize that government has been very intentional, both governments, whether NDC or NPP, has been very intentional about protecting our cyberspace because it is a new space that we need to tread in and also tread cautiously. That also in protecting that space, it doesn't also stifle the growth that young people may want to take advantage of. Yeah.
Osman Abdullahi Ayariga is the Chief Executive Officer of the National Youth Authority. Meanwhile, Ashraf Saka, founder of cybersecurity firm Ethosec, has urged businesses to integrate cybersecurity into the core of their digital operations.
Organizations only care when they lose money. They don't care about protection. All they care about is passing audits and making sure they're not losing money. But it goes beyond that when it comes to cybersecurity. Trust is everything. If we are able to give them our data and ask them to be custodians of our data, that means that we are asking of them to protect us fully, right? And not care about profit margins or not care about, bringing new shiny toys, but caring about whose data gets leaked and whose data gets protected. So these are the things we are trying to bring into the system for organizations to understand that without us and our data, they are really nothing. So they need to put us on top of the food chain when it comes to protecting us.
Ashraf Saka is the founder of cybersecurity firm Ethosec. The chairperson of the Ghana Hubs Network, Yao Edu-Jemfi, has called on the government to scale up regional participation in the Ghana Digital and Innovation Week. Speaking at the launch of the event, an initiative that showcases Ghana's achievements and prospects in digital transformation and innovation, he emphasized the need for inclusive engagement across all regions. He acknowledged receiving support from the Ministry of Communications, but noted that expanding this support nationwide would help uncover both the opportunities and challenges facing digital innovation in the country.
So government is already with us through the Ministry of Communication and of course also through their agency, the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program. But we want government at that level, at the regional level, to be able to galvanize support because what we are trying to demonstrate and showcase is that we are also showcasing the potential of these regions. So we want government at the local level to be able to also be excited about this opportunity and be able to join in the road to GDIW and ensure that at the regional level we have that participation, that engagement as we have at the national level, so that we can be able to highlight some of the potentials and challenges we have in the regions.
That was the chairperson of the Ghana Hubs Network, Yao Edu-Jemfi. And that's all for City Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Inosafo. Up next is Points Blank.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Ugomi, and what time when you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I not change my car. It be the same right. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, so this is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it will protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protection sector. And what they boss my mind says, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. So
where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, they make a finish Magobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you have the Magobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go!
And Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
It's your day off and you end up looking after the baby while your wife goes off to work. You realize you have no idea how to change a diaper. So you video call your wife.
Hello, darling.
Hello,
Kojo. Is everything all right?
Everything is all right. I'm not seeing Toku. How do I change a baby's diaper, please?
Kojo. Okay, first, put the diaper.
The video call freezes. While you wait for the internet to catch up, the baby sprouts a fountain and wets the diaper. As you are getting a new one, your wife comes back online.
Kojo, no!
But I have to go and get a new diaper. What must I do next? I beg, quick.
Open the front of the diaper. It's the side that has...
Wow, look, the video freezes again. Abba.
By now, you know where the conversation is going. There's no buffering in real life, so why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to your home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband. From the Internet Masters.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You're listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. And this is Point Blank. On Point Blank tonight, my guest is Dr. Market Namwani, who is the Member of Parliament for the Namdam constituency and the Chairman of the Health Committee of Parliament. The health sector has been in the news in recent times. Has played a leading role in resolving some of these issues, as well as the Health Committee. And tonight, he is our guest. Honorable, good evening. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening to your listeners. I'm very glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You are the chairman of the Health Committee. The Health Committee or the health sector has been in the news for some time now. You know, the nurses, strike in some months past, the Muhammad Care Bill that came before the House, and the rest. First of all, let's start with the issue of the health sector and issues with the nurses. Have you been able to resolve the issue with the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association?
What should I say? I should say that I should say that we've been able to bring calm, relative calmness to the health sector as a whole, and that we hope that will enable the employer and the employees to talk to each other. Actually, we stepped in because at that point, the employer and the employee negotiations have broken down. They were practically not talking to each other anymore, and the strike action has started and was biting. Ghanaians were suffering, and as you know, we represent the patients, we represent the nurses, of course, we represent everybody as members of Parliament, as the Select Committee of Parliament, as your representatives in government. We represent all of you. And so this was the time for us to step in and bring all these stakeholders to sit down and talk. So we were able to call a meeting that was honored by the nurses, Fair Wages, the Ministry of Health, and the Ministry of Finance. And we sat down with them and asked of the issues. And we had to break down what issues can we implement before the budget or with the media budget, and what can we do during the next budget, and probably what can we do in the long term to ensure that we don't have cases of this sort taking place in the health sector. I have to use this opportunity to thank the nurses. They were very, very respectful to the committee. They, spoke their mind out, and after that, I think that they were very calm. And of course, their employers, the Ministry of Health, the minister himself was present to ensure that he took part in the negotiations. And I'm happy that in the long run we're able to first broker about a month piece, and after a month, when the tempest had settled and we met them again, we're able to let them understand that yes, it's a give and take situation. And so we're able to slot in 3 of their demands, which they requested for, and I believe that they were happy with it. The school uniform,
which are these demands?
Or the school uniform payments, the research allowance, and then the fuel allowance. These 3 demands, we're able to let them understand that government has accepted to implement this 3. And I believe that the government will keep to its word.
But then they have also raised issue that even though there was an agreement, when the media budget statement was read by the finance minister, they didn't see these agreements in there. It means that the government, even though they have agreed on the implementation, may take a while. You have a reason why that was done?
What I want them to understand that during the media budget, the government did not come to request for extra money.
Yes.
And so they didn't see possibly their name being mentioned that this amount had been allocated for that. But rather, the government was going to draw from contingency funds or realignment of whatever existing fund or money that they were already using. In other words, they were not going to ask for any increase in money because of the demands of the nurses. And that's what we explained to them during the negotiations. I don't know whether they understood, they got those facts that government has no money, extra money, to meet all their demands. But this trade that we are talking about is not a situation that the government was going to bring in any new money from any place, but just by rearranging whatever is there, realigning whatever is there, or rethinking and adjusting here and there to ensure that they are captured. Yes, so the media budget, I believe that they were captured, but it did not lead to an increase in the budget. Yeah.
So you believe their demands will be met by government?
Sure, their demand will be met by the government.
And we will not have another strike on our head?
No, I don't think so. On these issues, no. I don't expect that there should be a strike.
Have you had any meetings with them after your last meeting?
Oh no, I called only the president to thank her, and then for us to assure them that yes, we'll still continue to work with them to ensure that government implements what government has agreed to do.
You are a medical doctor.
Yeah.
You think medical professionals in this country are given their due?
I wouldn't say that we've been able to meet the expectations of the medical professionals. I'm saying this because we live in a global world. Now you can sit down in Ghana here and get employment in the UK or Netherlands or any other country.
The majority of our nurses are all living in these countries.
Yes, in droves. And so, but we need to understand, usually the government position, ability to pay. I mean, what is available and what can be done to meet everybody's, expectations to some level or to some extent. Yeah, I actually left government practice about 25 years or 26 years ago. Yeah, in 1999 I left government practice. Yes, and went to private practice. And I practice. In the private sector. Currently, I run hospitals in the private sector. Yes, and I understand the situation. I understand the nurses, but like I'm saying, it is what is in the kitty, what is available that can, determine what the government can do.
But what can we do to stop these brain drain? It's not only nurses. You also see doctors, well-trained doctors, senior surgeons and consultants, some of them also leaving for greener pastures. How do we stop them? Because we live in a country where we need a lot of these medical professionals here.
What's your name again?
My name is Sami.
Sami, since I came to Parliament, that is during the previous government, I've been one of those advocating that, look, let us not try to fight the brain drain. Let us try it as a nation to see whether we can gain
from it rather.
I'm saying so because the Ghanaians are so talented. There are people who read economics here. When they go to the UK and the US, they're able to go and read nursing and practice as nurses and other professions. We've got so much talent in this system that we should rather try to increase the training of the professions, the nurses, the doctors. Let's train them more and rather arrange with those countries that need their services. If they want to come and take some, they should only let us know and let us have an arrangement in place where they can give us more resources to train more Ghanaians and give them some.
So we are talking about export of our professionals.
Very good. Brazil is exporting footballers. Recently during the World Club tournament.
Yeah.
After the tournament, I understand one team there, Fluminense or something like that. Their first 11 are all exported. All those who played for Fluminense are going to Europe. And so the country gains something. The individuals are getting something. And Ghana, most of our people who go out of the country, they love Ghana to the extent that they repatriate a lot of their profits. They take good care of their people at home. And eventually, I'm telling you, even doctors who go out, I've been going there to meet them, they want to come home. Usually after 45. Between 30 and 45 or up to 50 years, they want to be there. But immediately they hit 50, they want to come home. Because some of them tell me that, look, when you get the money and you are there, you don't even enjoy the money.
You come down here and come and enjoy the money.
You come, when you've made the money, you come down here, you can build your own hospital, you can express yourself. Over there, you only keep the money at the bank. In the US, for example, you keep your millions of dollars at the bank. The percentage is about 3%. You don't have any imagination, but you can live a decent life, out of whatever you have earned. And you'll be getting 3% annually on your money. So you might earn about $30,000, $40,000, and you live on it decently. But when you want to express yourself well, then you have to come home, where you can decide that, no, I want to go into this type of business. I want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to help my village school with a library. This type of expression, you can only do it when you come back to Ghana here. And they are willing to come.
Let's just stay in Parliament. The Mahama Care bill that came before your committee. Your committee worked on that, but there are many who have raised argument that the Mahama Care may be competing with the National Health Insurance Scheme if care is not taken. How do you react to those who make such comments?
No, the right word to use there is that maybe complementing.
Complementing, fine. Yeah, they may be complementing, but then others to also say that the same job the Mahama Care may do, the National Health Insurance may also be doing so as well. They may be competing, even though there's complementing. There's competition also in there. From those who criticize it.
For those who criticize it, what is happening is this: let us understand, and accept this situation. That
definitely, because you are chairman of the committee.
Yes,
it came before you.
Yes, we now find ourselves the cost of treating cancer, the cost of treating heart disease, the cost of treating this chronic illness is so alarming that a lot of people do not even go to the hospitals at all. And that is why when you ask them what is happening to them, oh, the thing is spiritual, or it is due to wizards and witches and other forms of African electronics and not medical. But now we have a lot of diagnostic equipment. The CT scans are there, the MRIs are there, so many laboratories we can do in this country, and so we are diagnosing disease. The cancers, we are diagnosing them now. The hole in the heart, we are diagnosing them now. Complications of diabetes, we are diagnosing them now. And so we need now to look for the money. The main problem is how to treat them. And how to treat them is because of the lack of money. And so this Mahama Care, also known as the Medical Trust Fund, is supposed to refrain some amount of money to dedicate it to specialist care for this type of patient, or to assist them. Even if they cannot pay everything for you, they should be able to assist you with a certain percentage, and you also add something to it to pay. Because at the moment, let me tell you what people are doing. If they are not going for spiritual healing or some other thing, then they have to do what we call the appeal for fun. And some people are lucky. Through the help of you, the media, they're able to get something. Others, honestly speaking, their own is just to wait for when death will lay its hands on them. And so we this particular bill that I led them to pass, I think some few days back, last week, it's a bill that is supposed to have to be the game changer.
Yeah.
Remember that now the non-communicable disease burden in the country has exceeded the 40% mark. Yeah. And deaths due to non-communicable disease is around 5%. Or even more than that now. Some are not recorded. And that does not mean that we have forgotten about communicable disease or malaria and the rest. No, we also have a primary health care program that is supposed to come and take care of that. And that will be hooked to the NHIA. And then this chronic disease, they are hooked on, or they are supposed to be taken care of by the Mahama Care. And so we should be happy. You see, let me tell you something. Those who are arguing that the NHIA fund will be affected by Mahama Care, because 20% of the NHIA fund is to be dedicated to Mahama Care. Yeah. They are saying so, but they have forgotten that previously the government capped the NHIA fund by 15%.
And this government has uncapped it.
Uncapped it. So it has brought back that 15%.
So there will be more funds available.
More funds available. Apart from that, the budget performance. Previously, I've been in Parliament. This is my 10th year, or my 9th year in Parliament. Yes. The government performance, the budget performance In other words, the amount, what we say we'll give to health insurance, we used to give about 50%. That's the rare budget performance. Sometimes less than 50%, sometimes 58%. And the rest of the money is not given to NHIA. This government intends to improve on the budget performance of the NHIA allocations.
Okay.
If we're able to give them the 100%, and we take 20% out of it, and give it to Mahama Cares, it means that 80% of it is left for NHIA.
Yeah.
Unlike previously, where without Mahama Care, without anything, they'll give them only 50% of what has been collected. The rest of the money, where it goes, we don't know. It goes into the consolidated fund, and they use it for anything that they want. So, I'm assuring Ghanaians that under President Mahama's watch, we are going to ensure that we get a budget performance that is approaching almost 100%. Say that if 80%, if 20% is given to Mahama Cares, the rest of the money that comes from the National Health Insurance Levy and the state contributions, 80% at least will be left for NHIA.
Your committee recently went around various health facilities across the country. What was your general assessment before we go to constituency?
Yeah, well, we roamed about how many 11 regions in Ghana.
Okay.
Later we did the 12th one, that's a central region, and we visited about 14
health
facilities, and that is teaching and regional hospitals. And I must say that they are doing well, but they have a lot
more to do.
Yes. In the Upper East, for example, we realized that they lack staff. When I say staff, the number of doctors, radiographers, etc. If you go to the Baptist Hospital in Nalerugu, where the former vice president comes from, they had 4 doctors. Now I understand there are even 2 now. That's a regional hospital there.
Only 4 doctors.
Only 4 doctors.
And now 2.
They are now 2. The last time they met me, they said they were 2. And I asked myself, what is happening? Is it that doctors are not being posted to those regions? The problem is not like that. The problem is that the attrition rate is very, very high. And so we must now think of how to keep doctors over there.
Yeah.
And not only doctors, radiographers. If you go to the Bulgar Regional Hospital, there's only 1 qualified radiographer over there. The regional hospital have got 1 radiographer. And the Bulgar,
we don't train enough, or all of them are in Accra and Kumasi and do not want to.
They come there, they are able to keep them, and they go away. And in fact, my thinking is that we need health managers, very good health managers at our hospitals, because this problem, you can't leave it alone for government to solve it. And we must start thinking and talking openly about some of these problems for it to get solutions. Because if the health manager there, his thinking is that hospitals are supposed to provide free services.
Yeah.
And so they are not supposed to make any profit. And so they cannot take good care of their employees. Or they don't have any idea about how to keep their employees. In that case, what is happening is what is happening. We need a new type of thinking of that manager over there to think that it is my duty to keep my staff, and for the government to give them a free hand to be able to generate revenue, motivate their staff, both monetary, both in terms of accommodation and other, facilities to ensure that the staff that are posted to you, they stay. Because obviously, if you look at somebody who is working in Accra here, the doctor working in Accra here, he can even do about 3 or 4 jobs.
Mm-hmm. You call it locum.
Locum. We all did some. And if you go to Bulgaria, you can't get those type of locum, and you're only supposed to depend on your one salary. Meanwhile, you are being overworked.
Yeah.
We call it burnout. You are being burnt out completely, and it will bring you a lot of sicknesses in the near future. Hypertension, diabetes, whatever.
And the rest.
Yes.
Let's go.
And so we will have to get
health managers in these health centers.
But the posture should come right from the ministries to the middle level and then to the districts, so that we have rare managers who sit down and be thinking of how to solve these problems.
Okay,
yes.
Let's go to constituency. We are running out of time. Let's go to your constituency. Tell us the state of roads in your constituency, because roads are issues that matters to a lot of people. Tell us the state of roads in your constituency. Are they good, bad, deplorable state, or better?
In Ghana, I don't think that any MP will come and sit down here and be able to tell you that he has got very good roads.
Oh, but the MP for Ayawaso West Ogon will say that his roads are good.
Then probably have not yet ruled properly throughout all the constituency. In my constituency, the only third road is that road that leaves, or that part that links the regional capital Bolga to Boko.
Okay.
So when they were working from Bolga to Boko, they tarred that road. That is the only tarred road. But we have a commercial road that is known as from Asongi through Zalergo to Damolgo, Tindongo, opening up at Piolungu. That is the commercial road. Because Piolungu is a very big market.
Big market, okay.
Yes, they carry goods, sheep, everything to Accra and Kumasi.
Okay.
And so we should be able to do that road. Indeed, I've informed the road minister that, look, if you not do anything for me, just work on that road alone for me.
At least let the big push also affect you some.
that place. But the government have got two programs.
Okay.
This is not part of the big push, but he's also got a program for the district hospitals, 10 kilometers in each district. Okay. And I'm trying to use that program to get that road done. Yes. Said that I'm hoping that by the close to 4 years, we shall have worked on that road.
Do you have a district hospital?
No, we have the Agenda 111.
That wasn't completed?
It wasn't completed.
What percentage in terms of completion?
Might be about 30%.
Okay.
Yes. We are still far away from completion. Yes. But I'm hoping that we cannot, government currently will not have enough money to be able to complete all the Agenda 111 projects. Yes. And I'm saying this, because a hospital is not even a hotel.
Yeah.
That when you look, when you go to Ashanti region, that hospital that they claim they have completed, an assessment suggested that we needed about 140 million Ghana cedis to be able to operationalize the hospital. We should have. We just did the wrong thing. We spent $400 million, trying to satisfy everybody, and we ended up not doing anything. And we need even more than that to be able to complete this Agenda 111. I'm not saying that no, we should just leave everything, but probably we need to, as a nation, understand that it should be gradually, the low-hanging fruits, those that we can complete.
We should complete them.
Those that we cannot complete, please let us look for the money. And when we get the money and we can complete one, let's spend the money to complete one.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to say that I'm the chairman of the health committee, and so come and do
complete mine,
5% of mine, go and do this person's own 3%, go and do this person's own 4%, and in the long run, we will not have any of the hospitals operationalized. That will not help the nation.
Honorable, thank you very much for your time. I really wish we had more time to talk about other things, but I appreciate your time in the studio here with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too for coming.
I'm grateful. This is my first time of coming here, and I'm delighted that you are really discussing the issues that matter to Ghanaians.
Thank you. I'm sure we will invite you again so we can have more detailed conversation on the work of your committee, which is very, very important.
Okay.
A very crucial committee.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your time. My guest on Point Blank has been Dr. Market Namwani. He's a member of Parliament for the Nabdown constituency and chairman of the Health Committee of Parliament. And this is where we bring today's edition of Eyewitness News that came to you live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafe. Earlier, you heard Eno Safo Show, produced by Kwabna Wilson, Beverly Landon, and Umaru Sanda Amadou. Technical assistant from Desmond Nyako. So we'll come your way again on Monday. May the good Lord be with us all.
We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.
Citi 97.3 Accra.
Big things are happening. Cowbell Coffee is giving you the chance to win big in the Cowbell Coffee with You every moment